gotta get the head bobbing together.
Woo!
Rock on.
You know we're gonna see this in some spoof video. Somebody's gonna make a video. They're gonna spoof us.
Yeah, somebody's gonna spoof us.
It'll be all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Follow Me Live. I am so pleased I have my buddy Russ Johns is in the house with me. Everybody, look at that beard, man. That beard it puts my little goatee to shame. But
it's a pirate beard.
It's the pirate beard. Speaking of the pirates, hey Nick Dorsey, this is for you, buddy.
Yeah,
woo-hoo! Come on, 2-0.
Nick, what's going on? Az.
He's around somewhere. You know he is. All right, everybody. If you're watching, what I want you to do while we're getting this thing cranked up, tell us where you're from. Say hello. Tell us where you're from. We appreciate that. I'm coming to you from Greater Los Angeles. It's a little town called Moreno Valley. If you want to know the truth of it, it's in the Inland Empire, but that's where I am. Where are you coming to us from? Russ Johns, you're in Arizona.
I'm residing in Sun City, Arizona, where they have parking lots for the shopping carts and also the golf carts.
Nice. Now, I grew up part-time in Vegas, right? So I with divorces and stuff, it got my childhood story is complicated, but basically I bounced back and forth, but a lot of my time was Vegas, so that's where I consider my home. There you'll see communities with golf carts. Like, it is so weird to be driving down the street and you're waiting for a golf cart to get out of your way. I'm like, come on, man. Hey, we got some
parking stalls. Yeah, they have parking stalls for the golf carts here. So I'm sure the same thing in the communities in.
Yeah, in Vegas, the ones where you can drive them around. That's absolutely right. Like, you're not going to be driving down the strip and find a golf cart, but if you're mostly in West Vegas, right? That's where the cool people live. Although I was dirt poor, so I lived on the east side. Anyways, hello from. Now that's a new one for me. Is that Tahakistan? Is that how you say that? I've never heard of that one.
I don't know. But,
see, that's what I love about my network. I got people from everywhere, and I encourage people to do that for a lot of reasons. Like Zambia. Good morning. Oh, there's our friend Erica.
Erica, love you. Thank you for being here.
I haven't had her on one of my lives in a while. I need to get her on too. From India. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So we got people from all over, which is kind of fun. And that's really the point of Follow Me, is to get people to connect. But I don't want you, and we were talking about this in the green room before we went live. The point is not to just connect and that's it. It's, to talk to each other, to get to know each other, to figure out how you can maybe have some synergy. To help each other. Look, we are all on LinkedIn for something, or Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're coming to us from, because we're actually live on all three today. But like, if you're on Facebook, and it might be a different reason than why you're on LinkedIn, totally get it. But what are you there for? You know what I mean? If you're there to sell something, or if you're there to find a job, or if you're there to promote your business, like, for example, you run the Pirate Broadcast, and I want to talk about this in detail in a minute, but you run this Pirate Broadcast, which I have been personally blessed by a couple times. I've been on the show a couple times, and I love it. I love the Pirates because, again, well, Raider fan, baby, my whole life. And now they live in my hometown, which is crazy. Why couldn't they live there when I was a kid? But anyways, I couldn't afford to go to the games anyway, so it's all right. But the point is, if you can meet other folks who have similar goals, or maybe complementary goals, is sometimes even the better thing. Because like you and I, we have different goals, but we run in the same circles. And I never mind sending you anybody, because we don't compete at all, right? No. So that's what's cool. Is like, I met you. We became friends. I got to know more about you. I got to know more about your personal story. We were sharing stories about our families before we went live. I don't do that with everybody. You know what I mean? But I know you, and I respect you, and you're my friend. So we can talk about anything you want. And that's only happened because somewhere along our journey, and I think it was through SPN, right? Service Professionals Network, I think is how we met. But however we met, we talked. Like, you know what I mean? It starts out.
We actually got on a call and had a conversation.
Yeah, but it starts out, surface level. It starts comments. That's why I tell people the comments is where it's at on social media, right? I mean, you start there. If you can be friendly there and encouraging there and supportive there and not self-centered there, that's where, like, I made a post yesterday. I said, stop sending me your sales pitch in your connection request. Oh my goodness, that is.
Does it seem like it's getting
worse?
It's increasing in volume?
100%. That's why I made the post. I'm like, come on, guys. I let everybody in the world DM me. I've opened it up so you can DM me.
Yeah, everybody could DM me as well.
If you're wasting your shot, your one shot, because if I don't respond, you can't continue. I don't know if you know that, right? So you have to respond for them to be able to continue the conversation. So if you waste your message on a pitch, I got to tell you that for me, 100% of the time, I won't even read them. I'll just be like.
So I want to ask you, Ira. So how many times does somebody have to engage in the conversation before you ask them what they do or how they help?
So I think that you don't even have to ask, because now I'm talking specifically about LinkedIn here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's stick to LinkedIn.
But LinkedIn, all I got to do is view your profile.
Yeah.
So for me, why do you need to tell me that you run Pirate Broadcast Syndicate? Right?
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't.
Yeah, and I don't tell people I run Bowman Digital Media or I run Project Help You Grow. I mean, look, I make my posts about those things. This is if you want to get down to the strategy of that, right? I make my posts about that stuff, which I should, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But my messages to you are going to be, usually it's like, if I see you struggling with something, or maybe I'm worried about you from your posts or from your comments, then I'll use a message for that.
Yeah.
I'm never going to criticize people in public. I'm going to praise you in public. If I have to criticize you at all, it's going to be in private. So that would be a message thing. But that's to somebody I know.
Yeah.
A message that I'm going to send, like a connection message, most of the time, if I'm going to send one, because I'm maxed out, so it's tough for me. But when I do have a spot, and I do, like the other day, I'll give you an example. The last person I sent a connection request to, her name is Lisa Day. And Mike and I have on Tuesdays, we have speed networking with Mike and Ira.
I was on there.
She came on the show, and she networked, and I got to sit at a table with her with 5 other people, because 6 total at the table. We had a conversation. You know what? She's a cool person.
Yeah.
And I had a slot open up.
Yeah.
And so I sent her a connection request to say, hey, you're really cool. Let's connect. And that was my message. It was nothing like, I can help you find a job, or would you like a website, or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, treat people like people, man.
Yeah.
I didn't join LinkedIn to go shopping. Did you? I didn't. Right.
I didn't.
For all these people who are trying to get me to buy something, it's like, dude, I didn't come here for that.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't actually come here to sell anything either. I joined.
Well, it's interesting too, because all of my business, every dime that I generate is a direct result of a relationship that I have right now, so it's not because I got on LinkedIn and told somebody I could help them do something, it's because I have a relationship with you, and you know what I do, and you know how I can help. And because you need that, we're engaged and we're having a conversation about that. So it's like, don't pitch, just add value, bring value to the table, and
well,
you'll be much better off.
You're saying what I believe too. I think this is why we get along so well. I completely agree. It's like, if I see a natural fit, I will bring that up in a message. Absolutely. Like, hey, I see that you're trying to launch your business and you don't have a website. If you need one created, I don't know if you know this, but I do offer that service. I'd be happy to help you. But most of the time, messages like that are not seen as spam, right? They're not seen as icky or tacky or anything like that. That's just 2 networking partners, looking for opportunities and ways to work. And if you tell me like, hey, I've already got a web developer, I'm like, cool, no problem. If you need any help, or they, get stuck on something, you can use me as a backup, however I can help. And sometimes I just go on people's websites. Erica Warfield's an example, right? So Erica Warfield has ericawarfield.com, and it's a sales website. She had a background where she did some web development, right? And so she came to me originally. She's like, hey, I might just pay you to do this. And I'm like, why? I think you can do it. If you get stuck, I'll help you figure it out. And so that's kind of what we did. We did consultations. I didn't charge her. She just, it was a friend helping a friend.
Yeah.
And so I've got to respond to her. Erica, the reason why they spam you in your emails is because your email's on your website. It's really just that simple. Not everybody is obtuse where they won't click on your website. So it's the pitfall of having a bigger network and a high profile email address. And frankly, it happens to me too, because Bowman Digital Media, is right there on the homepage. So, you want people to email you. So you just get a spam filter, hit delete, and move on. No problem. Okay, so let's talk about the Pirate Broadcast. I've been on it a couple times, and I love it. It's a great show. You talk about interviewing interesting people doing interesting things, which begs the question, why the hell would you interview me? Well, we could save that for another day. But I love the show. I love the show, man. A lot of times I don't actually sit there and watch it, even though it is video.
Yeah.
Because it's early for me. I'll just have it running while I'm doing other things. But I love listening to you interview people. I like your conversation style, your interview style. I like the guests that you bring on. I like everything about it. And even the time. It's a half-hour show.
It's pretty simple. It's easy to access. And the beautiful thing about it, Ira, is that I started this whole thing because I just wanted to highlight some other people, just like yourself, in some of the projects you have going, project help you grow. And all of those efforts are out to add value to the community. And I figured, hey, if I can add value to the community, and also at the same time, I can build systems that allow me to actually broadcast in the morning. And then I take those broadcasts and I put a transcription together. I have, I put the podcast together. I upload that. And then it's all uploaded by the end of the day. So a broadcast in the morning, a podcast in the afternoon. And then it's a system that allows me to actually use it for other people doing their efforts and their activities and their business.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask you about that. So I know that's the money making end. That's the business side of it for you, but it's a great business service. So what you're offering for people, like if they just want to show up and record, right? They want to have a podcast. They want to have it go to Spotify and all the different places and just have a turnkey solution where they are basically the star of the show. You do all the back end stuff, getting everything set up, doing the video, the editing, the recording, the publishing, and the pushing out.
Social media, graphics, the strategy behind it. And
and I haven't had any of my customers at Bowman Digital Media yet who have asked for that service, but and I haven't actually told you this, but when somebody needs that, you're going to be the person in the company that I refer them to. Because we're friends. Again, look, when we talk about follow me, what's the point? I get this people ask me all the time, well, what's the advantage of building my network? Why should I even want to? Well, there's a couple of reasons. There's three really good ones in my estimation, and I'll let you think about this as I answer if you want to add anything to it, right? But the very first one is if you're here as a producer of any kind, meaning you're looking to get people to do something, whether that's hire you, or buy from you, or invest in you, or use your product or service, right? Whatever that is, you need to get what I call a bigger flamethrower. And the flamethrower is built by adding people. I don't care if you're on YouTube. I don't care if you're on Facebook. I don't care if it's Twitter, Instagram, any of the platforms. Your network size does determine how far your message will go. So that's the one basic. I mean, everybody should be able to see that, although for some reason people don't. But that's the first one. The second one is like on LinkedIn, the way LinkedIn works. If you want to see the platform, you need to build your network because you have only a flashlight. I like to use this analogy. Imagine you're in an old school 80s video game, right? And the board is like a solid white. Well, let's say it's black. Okay, the board is black. And you have this little stupid flashlight in your hand, and you can see you can picture it, right? The little squares. It illuminates three of the squares, and you can only see the bad guy that's like right about to eat you. Like,
Yeah.
but as you get a bigger flashlight and they let you see more of the board, then you have a little bit more breathing room. And so that's when, you feel more confident. And that's what on LinkedIn, especially adding connections does. It gives you a bigger flashlight so that you can see more of the board too. And I know people don't always understand that, but LinkedIn, your first level, second level, and third level connections are extremely important because it allows you to see more of the board, including even hashtags and things like that, where you think, like on Twitter, if you use the hashtag management, anybody who searches the hashtag management, whether they're connected to you, follow you or not, they can see your post if they search far enough.
Yeah.
But on LinkedIn, if you're not connected first, second, or third level, you won't even show up in their list, and they won't show up in your list. So
You have the invisible cloak.
you have the invisible cloak, right? And then the third thing, of course, is we're looking for referrals. We're looking for people to work with, right? Like you do business with people, even if it's other companies, right? You're still doing business with the people inside the companies. If you don't build your network, how are you ever going to get new relationships? How are you ever going to meet those people that you won't meet otherwise, right? So like when I meet you and I get to become friends with you, and then you know somebody over here in, I'm sorry, it was Sun Lake?
Arizona, Sun
Yeah,
City.
Sun City. So in Sun City, maybe you know somebody who's not even on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on YouTube who needs a website. And you go, you know what? I got a friend, Ira. He can build your website for $1,000, it takes him 3 or 4 days usually.
Yeah.
And you go, $1,000, 3 or 4 days, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
I would have never known about them, especially the ones off the platform.
Yeah.
And that happens to me. In fact, I got a message this morning from somebody saying, hey, I got a friend who needs a website and here's what she needs. And I'm like, I can have that done in 4 days.
Yeah.
So, that's the 3 basic reasons.
Well, the one that I like the most and the one that's proved very successful for me is building the relationships and collaboration.
Yeah.
I love to be able to identify, people that, you can work with, just like you and I. It's this whole idea that you can do work together and create really cool projects. And, sometimes it blows up and sometimes it doesn't. However, you know exactly what the resources are, you know exactly what's going on. And I don't have nearly the size of the network that you have. And it's like I actually haven't been pushing for that as much as I could have.
No, absolutely.
And it's like, okay, I'm pretty busy right now, and I have work, and so what my focus has been recently is working on collaboration partners, and then working with other people that need my services. And that's, navigating that water is kind of challenging. And LinkedIn is one of the best platforms I know. I love LinkedIn for that reason, because you can actually, the ones that you are connected to and the ones that you do have relationships with, it's easy to start to develop that connection, that relationship, and have the conversation around what they need help with.
Well, like I tell people, if I had to choose between posting and commenting, and I could only do one or the other, I would pick commenting. Most people would pick posting, but I'll tell you, and I'll tell everybody,
Yeah.
you actually get much more out of the comments than you do the post. The post is like the conversation starter, right? It's that initial spark.
Yeah.
But the magic happens, all the good things happen, all the growth.
All happens in the conversation, the comments, the engagement.
That's where the personality comes out. That's where the fun comes out. That's where, Nick and I and Ron, Craig, have been joking about this thing with pants and Bitcoin for a year. And I'm telling you, like, I don't even remember how the Bitcoin at least started. I remember the pants. The pants was because I challenged Mike O'Connor to stand up one day, and he wouldn't, because he says he was wearing pajama pants. I don't think he was wearing any pants, but in any case, we made fun of the pants for that.
Big fun of the pants.
But then it kind of morphed into the Bitcoin somewhere along the way. And so So anyways, but the point is with that, it's just banter and it's fun and it allows people to see, like a softer side or a different side than maybe you would see in a business meeting. And that's what people ask me all the time, Ira, why do you grow so much? Like what makes people want to even follow you? I'm not famous. I'm not rich. I'm not super talented at any given thing. Like I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not great at anything. I think that's, I'm like one of those
Well, I think you have a great work ethic. I think that's the work ethic that people resonate with, is the idea that, hey, Ira, that's the beauty of it though, Ira. If you think about it in reverse, you think about the idea that, you show up every day, you make the comments, you're committed to the engagement, you're committed to the community, you're helping, you're always adding value. And that's what people appreciate. That they love and appreciate that about you.
Well, and I think that's what the comments allow people to see, right? It's not just like, like, how do you tell the difference between a fake account and a real account? Like the fake account makes posts, but the fake account is not going and making comments. They're not responding. Like if you go to any of my posts, it's interesting because I hate the term influencer. Please don't ever call me influencer. Anybody watching, that's not me. I'm not an influencer. I'm just a regular dude. So one of the things that I take pride in is that if you comment on one of my posts, I'm going to respond. Now on the lives, I don't, because it's really hard the way it works to try to respond to the comments on lives. But every one of my normal posts, like follow me Fridays, will start right after this, right? That's my weekly networking event. I will get 500, 600 comments. And guess what? I'm going to respond to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
And it's not just a generic, like, hey, thanks for commenting. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for commenting. Like, it's not a copy paste. Like, I actually will type them out. Yeah. Now, sometimes people say, I need help finding a job. And I do have a couple like boilerplate answers for that. Like find free help, projecthelpyougrow.com, just so many characters and stuff. But, I want them to know that the free help is out there. But for the most part, like if you say, hey, my name's Erica Warfield, and I really am excited to be here. This is my first
prep for a call.
Yeah, she's laughing. Someone pick on her. But anyways, if you say something like that, right, I'm going to respond with something about that, and it's going to be me. I don't have a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
I actually think that VAs can kill you on social media, because I was talking to one of my clients. She's like, hey, I'm looking for a VA, and she actually wanted to know if I would do it for her, because I run social media management is one of the things that I do for my business.
Sure.
But I'm like, no, I won't be your VA. And she goes, why not? And I go, well, here's the problem. Let's say that she and you knew each other and you have a history together. You have conversations that you've had. And you make a comment on something and I don't have that same knowledge. I don't know that history. Now I'm going to blow right by it. And you could be offended. Now I've just cost you a relationship, and you may never come back and address that. Yeah. And I ruined the relationship I knew. So I don't use VAs. I'm one of the few people I know of with my size. I don't automate anything either.
I don't have any automation.
Yeah, I'm anti-automation, which most people my size have automated. And it's dangerous, and I don't want to risk ruining my reputation. I don't want to risk losing my accounts. So that's why I don't automate.
Yeah.
I get because AI requests every day from people. They're like, hey, you can automate, you can reach so many more people. I'm like, but it won't be authentic. That's the part about the comments that I love the most. All of that to say, authentic comments can do so much for you that
they move the needle more than you would like to understand. And I think it's the instant gratification society that we live in, Ira, that, everybody wants to just automatically do it. I just automatically want it to appear, and it's like, it's not that way. If you really want a relationship, you have to actually really want to.
Where's that button? I want to hit that button, and I want to have 1 million followers, and I want to have 1 million likes on every post, and I want 100 people to share it.
I love the ones that say, hey, I can help your podcast grow. I could get you 50,000 likes and reviews and stuff immediately. It's like, yeah, but nobody has listened to the podcast either. It's like they're not authentic. They're not real.
I got I got somebody asking me why I'm not. I think he's trying to say reply there. I don't know what this is in response to. Are you just talking about the comments here on the show, or are you talking about did you send me a message? Sometimes people send me spam message and they wonder why I don't respond, but in reality, I didn't ask you to send the spam message. So you can't be offended if somebody doesn't respond to your message if they didn't ask for it. So not sure what this is. Don't mean to be offensive. I'm just saying that I don't respond to spam. I don't respond to hellos and highs either, by the way. So if you're just sending me a message, I don't know about you. We could talk about this if you like, but I get probably, I don't know, 50 to 100 DMs a day that are just hello or hi. And that's just the lower highs. Forget all the spam messages I get, and then all the authentic messages that I actually do respond to. But I don't know. I guess people don't think about.
Let's just say it here, Ira. I'm not in the market for SEO.
Yeah,
I'm not in the market for financial counseling. I'm not in the market for 50,000 random podcast listeners.
Or Bitcoin or Forex trading.
Yeah, I'm not Forex or Bitcoin yet. It's like stocks. I don't need any assistance with that.
I'm not trying to open any franchises.
Yeah, I'm not going to open up a franchise.
I'm not here for looking for love.
No, I'm not looking for love.
So yeah, I mean, man, you just talked about all the stuff I get every day, and again, that's the DM. And
I thought that was just me.
Right. No, on one platform, that's just one platform. My Twitter is like that. My Facebook is like that. Well, actually, my Facebook is probably the slowest one of them all, come to think of it. But my email, to Erica Warfield's point, they go to my emails too. And it's like, man. And then what's really funny is when the people offer me services that I offer. It's like, really?
Yeah.
You need to do my stuff when I actually do this for a living. Project Help You Grow, the website was actually developed by Dealers League for me. At the time I was in the print business, I wasn't in, digital media. That wasn't how I made my living. And so Michael Massa and Joseph, they created the site for me. They managed it for 2 years. I actually just took over a few months ago because now, with this change of career, it didn't make sense for me to pay somebody else to do it. And I'm going to tell you that it kind of hurt me a little bit because I'm really close to those guys as far as, loyalty and stuff. I felt bad taking the work away from them, but I'm like, look, it just doesn't make sense. I can't justify this in my mind.
Right.
But if I'm not going to let them do it, I'm not going to let anybody do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason. I didn't take it away because of performance or anything like that. They're awesome. They're awesome people. They did a good job. The website, I mean, I get nothing but compliments when people go to projecthelpyougrow.com. And honestly, I haven't changed much. Like I've pretty much left stuff alone other than, the server location and, the back end stuff that nobody sees. But the front end is all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get people asking me, hey, would you like me to make your videos? Would you like me to make your websites? Would you like me to help with SEO? Would you like me to do design work? And I'm like, have you not read my profile? Again, this is to the point you asked earlier, like, when is it appropriate to send what you
And
do?
then at some point in time, you want to send them the link to your profile, say, pay attention. And
I have to try hard not to be snarky. That's the way.
Yeah.
Right? It's
I know.
But yes, and I call this laziness. This is laziness on their part. It's like you just sent me the same form letter that you send everybody. You didn't even take a look at my profile. I had probably the funniest one ever. And I think you know about this because we were in this social media chat room. We have Social Media Concierge. So if you guys don't know what Social Media Concierge is, we started this thing, I don't know, I think it was back in March, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
When the economy started to go bad. And we were it was a group of our friends where the idea was we could help each other. We were in different parts of this stuff and we could help each other get better at our stuff and work together on nonprofit work, which all of us were that was our heart. So I was like, cool. So we worked on this thing. Anyways, in that time period, I got a direct message from a lady who said, I'm going to help you build your network. And I thought, that's interesting. She probably doesn't know I run Follow Me, the show we're on and the thing I do. I help everybody grow. And so I thought that's actually kind of cool. So I looked at her profile And she had like, I don't know, 600 connections or something. And I said, I responded to her, I said, oh, you must not have looked at my profile before you sent that. I actually help people grow. And if you want help, I can help you. And she responded doubling down. She's like, well, I actually think I have a very large network and I didn't need you to be condescending to me. And I'm like,
wow.
I really wasn't trying to be. I'm just like, you know, at the time, I think I had 150,000 followers.
Yeah.
And, you know, like 600. I don't know. I mean,
know. 150,000.
If Gary V reached out to me or somebody like that and said, hey, Ira, you're doing awesome, but you have 190,000 followers now.
Yeah.
And he has 4 million. He wants to take me under his wing and help me out.
I got a couple of tips for you.
I'd be like,
help you grow.
Yes. I'd be like, yes, sir. Let me, you know, what do you, I would follow his advice. Of course I would. That would be stupid not to. So anyways, whatever. But it is, that's where it's like, you have to really be careful the way you respond because, you know,
well, I'll give you another example of the same type of effort. I actually created a really nice training video on how to use Canva to update your LinkedIn header.
Yeah.
You know, because the blue background is, you know, pretty static and everything else.
Yeah, get off the stars, everybody.
So so I would send that to people that would connect with me. I'd say, hey, here's something I offer to all my new connections. Use it if you'd like to. And then people started coming back and saying, what's wrong with my header? It's like,
yeah. So I get this all the time.
Yeah.
Like I put out an article on the ATS and I put out a post on the ATS telling people they should stop using PDF as their default resume format. And I was attacked by hundreds of people who don't know anything about the ATS. They've never researched the ATS. They've never been to any of the ATS websites, and there's thousands of them, right? But the bottom line is they think, or they presume they know the PDF is the universal safest way to go, and it locks the format. They don't understand that the ATS actually separates the resumes anyways and reformats it into a universal or standard format so that when the person reading the ATS goes through it, the name is in the same place, you know, the titles are in the same place and all that stuff. You don't understand that's what it actually does. And some of the PDF or the programs it's called parsing, which is a technical term, which is basically reading.
They don't parse the data correctly.
They don't parse the data. So if you don't parse the data right, that affects your keyword matching. In fact, some of the times it actually shows up as a blank. That's a different issue, but the same issue. So if you want to get an interview for a company that's using an ATS program, you have to get through the ATS. One of the things that you have to do is you have to get your data in, and then you have to be ranked high enough above the cut line, whatever the cut line is. So they might say, hey, we're going to interview 50 people, or we're going to interview 100 people. So if either case, then you have to be in the top 50 or top 100. And the thing about that is if they get 7,000 people who apply, your keyword matching, your ranking is very, very important, right?
That's where it becomes most critical, isn't it?
So that's where I tell people don't use PDF, because if it has trouble parsing, which a lot of them do, then you're like tying a boat anchor to your feet and trying to get to the top. It's just not smart. So I said, now in the article and in the comments, I said, if they ask for a PDF, then use a PDF. Of course, that's what they asked for.
Yeah.
They should know their own system. Like, it's not gonna be a problem. But if they don't specify, then the one thing I can tell you from all the research I did, I looked at over 600 programs. There are thousands. I don't even know how many there are, but I'm going to guess there's over
ATS
10.
programs.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing. A lot of people think there's one ATS, but there isn't. ATS is a type of program, not the program, right? So there's all kinds of them. It's a CRM, contact record management software, basically is what it is.
Yeah.
So there's thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of these programs. Anyways, I got all these snarky comments from people telling me that I'm an idiot. And I'm like, dude, you can go to the websites and read it straight on their website. And I even put some articles back in the post to show people, like, look,
I think a clean text file would be the best way to do it.
Clean text file is the best way, 100%. But of the 600-ish programs that I read, none of them, they all accepted Word. So they actually preferred Docs, which is DOCX, a .doc, a .txt, or a .rtf. Those were the 4 universal dot extensions or formats, if you will, that people could use. But anyways, like you were saying with the Canva post, right? You're just trying to help people. You didn't create the issue. You didn't create Canva. It's just like, hey guys, here's something that I know this.
Here's something of value you can use.
Use it or don't. But if you want to, it's free. Here you go. And you should get nothing but love and respect for that. And instead, people want to piss on you. And that's the same thing that happens to me. Sometimes I'm going to be completely transparent. Sometimes it makes me want to walk away from Project Help You Grow. I don't make any money on it. I never have. Yeah. And it actually costs me money. And as you know, it costs me much more in my time. Mm-hmm. I could do a lot of other things and make a lot more money without Project Help You Grow.
Oh, and I know that it's labor of love, because it's not necessarily dollars and cents that make it run.
Yeah, well, no, I pay for it. I mean, yeah. I pay to run the website, and then I have tools that I've purchased. Yeah. And like when I first bought Photoshop, I bought Photoshop because I needed to be able to edit files for the covers of my blog articles, for the videos that I was creating, and for the headers. I was doing, when I first launched the website, I was actually doing the headers for the candidates because nobody was doing it. So I'm like, okay, if you're an engineer, I'm going to put up an engineering background. If you're a salesperson, I'll put something business related, accounting on, you know what I mean? And so I just tried to match headers for people, and I was doing that. And I don't have the time to do that anymore. Because frankly, there's 10,000 candidates right now on Project Help You Grow. I don't have that kind of time. But back when I was starting and I had 250 and 1,000, I was able to get through a bulk of those. Yeah. So you can see like if you go through the candidates, like the first 12 or 15 pages of candidates all have them, and then they start to weed out, and by the end, most of them don't anymore. But those headers make a big difference on LinkedIn and on Project Help You Grow. So
it's crazy how the little things that take a little bit more time, and sometimes when you're running on social media and you miss some of these things, it's not intentional, it's not malicious, it's just we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And when you're actually doing projects for clients that are paying money for your time, you have to allocate space for other things, life, family, eating, sleeping, some things that go along with that. So, be a little kind, because you don't know what the next person's going through. That's all I got to say. So
kindness is cool.
Smiles are free.
Come on, buddy. You know I watch your show. Okay, so Virginia makes a good point. And I actually just had this conversation with 2 of my daughters yesterday. So let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
My 6-year-old, hang on a second. No, it was the other daughter. My 7-year-old, and yes, they are 6 and 7, but they're not twins. Well, of course they're not twins. They're different ages. Anyways, so my 7-year-old comes to me and says that my 12-year-old called her a loser. And I'm like, oh, okay, go get her. She comes in, and I say, why did you call your 7-year-old sister a loser? And she goes, Dad, she called me a loser first. And I look at the little one who came in. Now she's the one who ratted her out, right? And I said, wait a minute. You came in here and told me that she called you a loser, but you didn't say she was responding to you calling her a loser. I said, so wait right there. Then I look at the big one and I say, hey, first of all, she's younger than you. You should know better. You're the more mature one in this conversation, which is funny because she's 12. But anyways, I'm like, when she called you a loser, you know what she was really doing? She was reaching out to try to voice her displeasure. Like but she wasn't really trying to call you a loser. She was just, trying to communicate frustration. And I said, if you can hear what people say, but then translate it into what they are trying to communicate as opposed to the words.
What they're feeling.
Right. Because a lot of times people, and again, Virginia's kind of getting into this too here with her comment, which is why I got it up. It's a lot of times the word choice is poor, or they get caught up in the heat of the moment, right? And so take it too far. And so somebody has to be the mature one in the room, which is why I try to be careful not being snarky in my responses. I always all tied together, right? But so I told him, I said, look, that really you need to, when you're hearing somebody, and it's negative or it's aggressive, if you can try to understand where they're coming from and just kind of get in their head a little bit. And that's why I like to use the expression POV, or point of view. If you can see life from their perspective, which I contend most people don't do. Most people only ever think about themselves and how it affects them. But if you can, and I know you do, if you can get into their minds and look at the purview from their perspective, it can change a lot. And the world is a much kinder, gentler, nicer place where we don't have to argue. I mean, you and I have had some hard conversations, right?
Absolutely.
And we didn't fight. We didn't argue. We didn't mudsling, because both of us were trying to look at the situation from the other's perspective.
Well, you hear to understand, not to reply.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. That's 100. You just mic drop. Here to understand, not just to wait. You're not just waiting to speak again. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly the same thing. I mean, but that's it. And then to have compassion. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And oh my goodness, I had a live yesterday. It was unscripted, but it was about how are you doing was the whole point.
Yeah.
Many of you, did you know Kirsty Bonner?
I did.
So Kirsty Bonner was my good friend, and she killed herself. She committed suicide. And so, when we started this 14 days to flatten the curve, remember that? It was 14 days. It's been 6 months now. So the 14 days to flatten the curve, the isolation, this is a unique moment in the world's history, as far as I know. Certainly in the digital age anyways. Yeah. But, we are more isolated than ever before. And so I said in the show yesterday, the people that you can affect the most are actually your friends, right? The ones that you are close to, that like you will send DMs to, you will send text messages to, you'll place phone calls to. Like Mike O'Connor and I talk almost every day. Yeah. So people like Mike, for me, are the ones who can keep tabs on me the best. And you have your inner circle like that too. In fact, we're kind of like that because of social concierge. So like if you notice somebody's non-responsive or somebody's changed their response patterns, right? Like they used to respond within the hour and now they respond a day or two later. You might just want to check in with them and say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And be amazed how much of a difference that one question from a person that they know cares about them could make, because now you don't feel like you're in this thing alone. Right now, with this isolation being so long, like I can't remember the last time I got together with a quote unquote friend and had a cup of coffee or just shot the breeze
out. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
My wife and I went on a group date, which is a fun thing to do, by the way. We've been married for 20 years, so I like to date my wife, but it's more fun for us, I think, when we get out with other couples. Yeah. So we went on this group date. There was 4 couples, so there was 3 other couples, and we ate at a BJ's restaurant. I don't know if you know what that is, but anyways, and we had these blondie, they call them blondie desserts, and we ate our blondie dessert while everybody else was eating salad, because we start the meal with the dessert. Because now I don't know if maybe you noticed, but I paid for college by waiting tables, and you can't take dessert home. It melts. It's not.
Yeah, it's right? Not. It's never the same.
But you can order steak or shrimp or pretty much anything on the menu, whatever you're going to order, even your burger. And if you don't finish it, you can put it in a box, take it home. It's not going to be quite as good, but it's not going to be ruined. You know what I mean? If you heat it back up, reheat it. So that's where I started doing that. So anyways, these people, I told them before I did it, like, okay, here's why I do it. I know you're going to think it's weird. That's okay. There's lots of reasons to think Ira's weird. I eat at restaurants only. Now, we don't do this at home, obviously, because we can wait to assemble the dessert.
Sure.
But at the restaurant, you know, I always order, if I'm going to have it, the dessert first. And so anyways, they're like, oh, that's a cool idea. They said it, but they still didn't, you know what I mean? Because
they didn't.
It's a weird thing. But then I could tell you, they were all gawking at me as they're eating their like salad. And I'm eating okay, what this blondie is, it's a giant cookie, but it's like a cookie brownie. And then caramel
ice cream on top.
Yeah, ice cream, caramel, whipped cream, the cherry, you know. And man.
That's so
I can't tell you what I ordered for dinner that night, but I could still now, because this was back like in February.
Oh, this was before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that was the last get together where, you know, I was like, I can point to that date and go, that was the last time we actually had a social interaction. Now I'm blessed because I do have a large family. So even though I'm isolated and I want
to still have people around, you still have interactions, you still have conversations with your daughters, dismantling the feelings behind their words.
Right. Well, and like my son, so like yesterday he has piano lessons and he still goes to the piano lesson. Right. So it's like, you know, we have stuff that we do.
Yeah.
It's not the same as getting together with a buddy and talking about, you know, the Raiders, or talking smack to Nick about the Seahawks or something like that, you know. In fact, I did when he came down through, when he was moving from Washington to Arizona. He stopped over.
He stopped by. He met you.
Yeah.
I've met. In fact, we were just talking about it the other day. I met with Nick and when he first got here, before his wife had moved down, and we're talking about now that he's moved in and he's settled in. So I'd love to get together. And winter is coming, with everything spending more time indoors. It's going to be challenging for the safe social outing front for a while yet.
This is our social media concierge buddy, Rob, too. And I'm excited for Rob. Rob just launched a new, I think it's a brand new website. Rob, you can chime in.
Yeah.
I'm a friend because I should know it off the top of my head. But he's helping people who have stage fright or camera shy to break out of their shell.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, it's critical to get on camera because of everything we're talking about.
Yeah. So
again, here's another guy with a heart of gold. I mean,
tons.
You're not going to find a nicer person on LinkedIn than Rob Deptford. You're just not.
And he's awesome.
I've never met him in person, but here's another guy. Again, comments, people. It's in the comments. Yeah. I met him somewhere along the way. I don't know. I don't remember. Rob, do you remember how we met? Like, I don't know. But we've been friends forever. He's been on my podcast. I've been on his stuff.
I saw a couple of his videos, and then I got him on the Pirate Broadcast. So.
He runs EQ4 Media is one of his things, but he's a former on-air talent guy. There we go. So this is a book that you can buy. But
in there, Canva Conference Handbook on Amazon.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, again, you meet people on social media. You have comments. Yeah, we've been friends for a while, and I can't remember either. I mean, who knows?
Does it even matter?
It doesn't really matter. That's the whole point. But that's what I'm saying to people. I guarantee you what it wasn't. It wasn't me spamming him or him spamming me. It didn't start that way.
You didn't sell him a website, did you?
No. Look, until June 5th, I wasn't even working for myself. I was selling print stuff, right? So, you know, I have some clients and stuff that I've worked for on LinkedIn, but most of the people who know me don't know me for print related things. They know me because I network.
Well, I knew you for print because that's how that's what you were doing when I looked at your profile and learned what you were doing.
Right. No, I was a print salesman. I started making videos like in earnest to promote my print related stuff. I wanted to show people the print technology. I was doing large format printer demonstrations, and I was doing like
that was another thread that we had together, because I grew up in the outdoor industry, and when it converted from painting billboards, hand painting billboards, into printing billboards.
Right. And I think you and I talked about that in that phone call, that first phone call. I think that's what was interesting about that phone call for both of us, is like we had the plotter.
And it's fascinating because not everybody understands that some of the processes in printing and things that have evolved so much in the printing industry as well. And you know what I would like to do? My son is doing a lot more photography.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get him to print out some large format images, some things that are going, because the printers nowadays are really amazing. And I thought that would be very cool to do, is to print some of these out and allow the images to take. Oh, there you go.
My new baby right here. I love this thing. So I've got the EOS 90D.
Oh yeah.
This thing set me back $1,500.
Yeah, easily.
But I bought some of the, like I bought the boom mic and stuff, but I love it because it shoots 4D video. So, I make videos. I make social media videos. I actually got somebody reached out to me 2 days ago and said, "Hey, I want a full scale production commercial.
Yeah.
Can you do it?" And I'm like, "No, man. Let me send you to my YouTube channel and you can see the type of videos that I do. I make social media videos. Now you can put them on your website in all kinds of different ways, but no, I have my iPhone 11 Pro Max, right?
Yeah.
So I've got this and I've got this, you know what I mean? And if you really want to go crazy, my wife has one of these, and so I could get a couple shots going, but I'm not like
it's perfect for social media though.
Yeah, I have Premiere and I have the one I actually like it better, Filmora 9. So for most of my personal videos, I actually use Filmora 9, not Premiere. But I have both. I've been using Photoshop for 15 years.
I'm surprised you're not on Premiere or you're on DaVinci Resolve or something like that.
The first program I actually went to was DaVinci. And at the time, it was just too complicated. Like I didn't have that foundation. Yeah. So no, I don't. I upgraded computers when I started Bowman Digital Media because I needed something with more processing power. Yeah. So I have 8 processors in my computer now, which is awesome. So I bought what I call
it's a far cry from my 486 that I had.
Oh man! So the computer that I had before that, now my wife uses it. It's a HP Pavilion all-in-one, right? So it was great for like getting on the internet and using email, and I could do Photoshop in it, and it wasn't bad. But as soon as I started making the videos for a living, like you can't edit graphics and rip videos at the same time. It would blow the thing up, and you'd have the blue screen of death. And I'm like, I can't do this, right? Yeah. This is how I make my living.
It would just chug out and then die.
Yeah, right. And also, even if it would make it through, if you could chug through, it would just take forever. And one of the reasons why I can do this, with these websites in 4 days is because I'm able to design the graphics myself and put it all together. While one's processing, I'm working on the other, and I'm making good use of my time, right? And that's why people really, people talk about my work ethic, which is, it is what it is. But the thing that makes me unique really is I'm very much a systems person. So I create systems that are very efficient, and that's what helps me get a lot done.
Well, that's the only thing that allows me to do pirate broadcast 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Every day. I want 10 a.m. Arizona time.
I want to talk about that a little bit more before we go. I didn't give that as much time as I wanted. So I want to make sure if you are a small business owner, medium business owner, or large business, I guess if you're a business owner of any kind, or maybe you don't consider yourself a business owner, but you might be an author or a career coach or, independent recruiter, whatever you might be watching the show. If you need a podcast and you want to basically be the star of the show, but you don't want to do the rest of it, right? You don't know how to do the graphics. You don't know how to get the thing listed on all the different channels. You don't know how to edit it. You don't look.
You don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, watch the Pirate broadcast on Tuesdays. Watch it with Russ Johns. Watch it. Just watch it. Watch how the graphics work. Watch how everything runs. He can do that exact same thing for you. He doesn't have to be on camera, right? He can take the video for it. They could do it all for you. All you have to do is show up and get the guests. I mean, that's your job. You show up.
I'll even show you how to get guests.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But they'll run the whole thing for you, front end, back end. You just have to show up and be on camera. And if you don't know how to be on camera, visit my buddy Rob Depford. He'll teach you how to be on camera. So there it all works together, right?
It's all there. And then if you need a website, you talk to Ira.
Yeah, or if you have social media, like here's the number one thing that actually Bowman Digital Media is doing. It's not, in fact, I don't even have website. It's an oversight. I need to fix it on this title block that I built. But the number one thing I'm doing for people really right now is what we call SMM, social media marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm running their social media campaigns for their businesses. So if you want to build your Twitter, you want to build your YouTube, you want to build your LinkedIn, you want to build your Facebook, you want to build that social media audience. That's the number one thing that I'm doing for people. Now, some of my clients have me running their page completely. I'm managing it all. So basically I log in as them, their business, and I run it. And then the other people are just paying me to help with it, right? So like tag them in posts, build the graphics, maybe make the videos. And so I can do the variety of stuff. So that's really when people ask me like, Ira, what are you doing for a living? And I do need to rebuild some of my pieces, right? Some of these tools are, when I first started, I thought I was going to be more making just the imagery. So visual media, for digital stuff and for print stuff. I actually thought
you built content libraries and then you can use them in the feeds for a while,
Right. And I do that. I mean, I think the thing that makes me unique is I have the design skills and I have the sales experience. A lot of the people who do what I do, I think they're better than me. They make better graphics than I do. And maybe they're outsourcing it. I don't know. I mean, that's possible.
And maybe they don't have the sales skills though.
But that's the thing. I don't think they do. And most of them also don't have the social media know-how that I do. Right? Because I can put my money where my mouth is any day of the week. Like I can make a post go big. So if you have a post, you're like, I really need this message to get large. Okay. I can build the campaign and I can execute the campaign and give you the results that you want. It might not always be the way that you thought it was going to be going in, but if you're telling me that just the number of eyeballs is the most important thing, I can get you the eyeballs, right? And so some of these people go like, I'm going to help you build your network. And then you look at their network and you go, well, you can't even build your own. Or they want to run your company's social media and they tell you that they're going to do an awesome job running their company's social media. And then you look at their company page and they've got like 3 followers. I lost a job to somebody that had 5. And I asked the person who was placing the order after the fact, I said, did you even consider that like in your, and they probably didn't. They didn't answer. So I might have not expressed that in a non-snarky way. But I was like, do you know that I run Project Help You Grow's business website has 22,000 followers in 2 years. I've built it from 0 to 22,000 followers. My Bowman Digital Media page has over 2,100 followers now. And that's only 3 months.
I have an event that I'm managing that would probably be beneficial to Project Help You Grow as well. That I would love to share it with you.
I'm open to anything. Look, Project Help You Grow is is like my baby. It's a philanthropy. So anytime someone reaches out and say, hey, I have this thing that could be beneficial for your members, I'm open to it. I'm completely open because, I can't tell you that everybody's going to, jump on page, but sometimes
here's what's showing up, for the Pirate Syndicate. And, the Pirate Syndicate is the platform I use to help other business owners.
Right.
What's showing up is I'm helping them create these virtual events. And these virtual events, take a little bit of coordination, a little bit of effort. The speakers and the presenters are all showing up. And it's like 9 times out of 10, they don't necessarily want to deal with the technology, and nor do they have the wherewithal or the ability and opportunity to spend time on that because they're running a business.
Well, there's an opportunity cost there, right? So to what you just said, even if they do have the wherewithal, maybe there's something they need to be doing instead that they can actually make money.
Well, you have to stay in your zone of genius. You know, you're stay in your lane where you can do the most value for the business.
That's one of the ways that I sell my service. I tell people, I like, look, you are in business doing what? And they tell me, and it's never social media management. I go, exactly.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to know. If you want to do what I do, you probably can, because I'm not any smarter than most people, right? I do have different experience.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you'll struggle. Ron Craig is a perfect example. I'm going to use my buddy Ron. Ron does this. I'm like, Ron, why are you doing all this stuff? You could pay me to do it, and then you could do what you do, which is cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And you could help your clients more, because now your social media stuff would be through the roof.
Yeah.
Because this is my expertise, right? Like, he needs a website, for an example. Like, I could build that sucker for you in 4 days. He's been struggling with it for months, and he's like, I get it. People, you have to be willing to like release control a little bit. And some people just can't do that. But for the ones who can, and they can take their time, that opportunity cost of trying to figure out this social media thing or this website thing or run their podcast for the Pirate Broadcast Syndicate, right? Instead of trying to do that, you allow people like us to do what we do best, so that they can focus on their core business activities, the thing that makes them most money.
Yeah.
And or maybe even take a break so they don't burn out. That's the other thing, the personal care time. Because I know like Ron Craig is doing this stuff after hours. And it's like, well, how much better would you perform every day if you got a little extra sleep? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Russ is the man for that job for sure. Yep. There's no doubt.
Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it. Love you, man.
There's no doubt about it. So, all right. This has been a fun conversation, but we're over time. So we're going to wrap it up. Is there is there anything else before we get out of here that you would want to, I mean, you're on my network, so I just want to give you a chance to kind of maybe like 30 seconds or so, just a plug for something, anything that you want to talk about.
I really love the opportunity to talk to interesting people. So if you know somebody that I need to interview, just send me a DM, open up the conversation, dialogue, just like Iris, both Ira and I support. Create the conversation, build the relationship, develop that, and have a little empathy for everyone around you. The Pirate Broadcast, I've been over a year now. I've been doing this for over a year, over 200, almost 260 some odd episodes. And the reality is that we all have a story. We all have a gift. We all have a message. So I want you to be seen, be heard, and be talked about in the best possible way. So reach out to me when you need some help.
Yeah, and if you're watching this and you don't know Russ, you can reach out to me and I'll get you guys hooked up. Have you met Tina? No, it's 2 I's. That's not a typo. It's Tina. I'm not even. She's from Europe. I'm not going to butcher her name. But I had her on my podcast. She's somebody that I would recommend for the Pirate Broadcast Show.
Oh, fantastic!
She's a recruiter. She came on Project Podcast, I want to say like 3 or 4 months ago. And we were talking about COVID strategies back then because it was still relatively new. Like when it first kicked off and the economy started to tank, a lot of job seekers were kind of like, I'm not sure. Should I wait to find a job? What should I do? And I was like, well, that's crazy. Right. So I tried to find some people that would help give them some tips. She's one of them. She was a great interview.
That's fantastic. And I admire all the people out there that are helping support, people, because it's an uncertain future, as you know, and we have to take responsibility for what we're doing right now today. And that's the best thing we could do is just make, 1% improvement every day, Ira, is the best process we can go through,
I saw a chart. Somebody posted a chart. I wish I could remember who it was, but they're like, if you improve by 1% a day for 30 days, and it was like, you got to like 130%, which was a big increase. And then if you conversely decrease by 1% every day, and it actually didn't make as much. It was interesting how the math worked because of the company.
Find it, send it my way. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to search for that. And if anybody watching knows that graphic, it was a hand drawn, like on a stencil paper. You know what I mean? Like one of the you would see on an easel.
Yeah.
but it was hand drawn. I wish I had copied it because I thought, wow, that's really cool.
That is very cool.
Growth, same percentage reduction and increase, but because the increase compounds, it was like it had a bigger net effect. And I was like, wow, that's really neat. And you always hear that. And I try to tell people, look, I don't compete with Russ Johns, and Russ Johns doesn't compete with me. No. And I'm talking about across the board. So like when you're looking at your network size, or you're looking like, well, I gained 100 people this week or whatever. You don't have to look at Ira, and you shouldn't look at Ira and go, well, he grew by, and I'm going to be completely transparent. I used to have this thought with Kirsty Bonner, because when Kirsty Bonner and I became friends, I was bigger than her by a lot. She had less than 10,000 followers, and I had 30,000 at that point, right? She came to Project Help You Grow because she needed help. She needed a way to disseminate her job listings for free, and Project Help You Grow allowed her to do it. So, if I got hung up on comparing myself to her when she exploded, it would have drove me insane.
Yeah.
But I stayed in my lane. And what I would tell everybody is if you can try to be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, and then tomorrow, do it again. Do it again. And even if you have those days where, I mean, look, we all have days where we go, man, I just didn't get it done. Yeah. Maybe you made a mistake, and you just got to forgive yourself for falling short, because we're not perfect people. We're all going to make mistakes. You're going to have setbacks, but don't let that setback send you into a spiral. And one of the ways that you could do that is by trying every day to be a better version of yourself than you were the day before. No matter how awesome you did or how bad you did, be better today. Oh my goodness, you can change everything.
That's the message that we want to leave everyone with today.
Yeah.
So
be better. But
thanks for having me on the show, Ira. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Your website is russjohns.com. I'm actually going to put
russjohns.com.
Put that in
Pretty
the
simple.
Yeah, I'm going to put that.
My name too, so I always remember it.
Yeah, it's hard to forget that one, right? I actually have 3 websites. I have Project Help You Grow, I have Bowman Digital Media, and then I have Ira Bowman. So you go to any of those, but I want you guys to go visit russjohns.com, especially if you're interested in the Pirate Broadcast Syndicate. And what that is, one more time, just for people, if you're late, like Damon says he's here late, but he made it. Thanks for
joining. Hey, Damon, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
So the rest of the day, I'm going to be working on the exityourway.us website. We're trying to build this thing out. So
fantastic.
Hopefully by the end of the weekend, I'll have it mostly done. You guys won't see it. It's in the staging area, the work, but that's going to be my day. But anyways, awesome. For those of you who are late, visit russjohns.com. Learn more about my friend. If you know people that are interesting people that are doing interesting things, I want you to recommend them for Russ's broadcast. And I don't want you guys to forget, starting in about 10 minutes, follow me. This is Follow Me Live, but Follow Me Friday is the biggest networking event, weekly networking event that happens on LinkedIn, bar none. There is none bigger. There is none other that I know of that happens week in and week out. I've been doing this for over a year now. Typically run somewhere between 100 and 150,000 viewers. Now, the last couple of weeks, the views actually have been down. So I'm hoping that's just an anomaly because they've been working on the platform, which is what it is. I know when they work on the platform, it's frustrating for all of us, but it has been down, but we've still been in the 25,000 to 50,000 view range, which is a lot of eyeballs. So what I'm telling you that is not to be braggadocious. I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back. I'm trying to tell you that if you really want to grow, here's your opportunity. The hashtag is just simply #follow me. And it's not really about follow me. It's that point of view. When you're saying follow me, you're actually telling the world to follow you. You're going to increase your visibility by making the comments. And what you do in the activity is you post a comment and you say, hey, I'm here. I'd like to grow. So is everybody else in the comments, by the way. Then you go and you view the comments of everybody that commented. You hit the view profile and then you follow them. Then you go back to their comment and you say, hey, I just followed you. Would you like to follow me? What you're doing there is you're being friendly. And by being friendly, it starts what could be a new, beautiful working relationship.
Sometimes it opens doors, right?
That's it. That's it. And that's all it's about. You're trying to start. I'm trying to give you a growth incubator. It's a place where it's where it starts. It's not where it stops, hopefully.
Yeah.
It never stops if you do it right, because you have friends, like we've become friends, and you have, this synergy as you both chase your goals from here forward for however much time that we each have left. As you're chasing your goals, there are times where, I might be able to help you. You might be able to help me. You might know somebody who I can help. I might know somebody you can help. And that's the power of networking if you do it right. Follow Me Friday is all about that. And again, it starts in 10 minutes. So if you're not familiar with it, find my profile in 10 minutes, go to activity, look for the latest post. It'll be there for you.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. Thank you. We're going to rock out. Y'all have a great day.